Hey everyone, we're here with another update on the Teardrop trailer build. I've been waiting and waiting for a nice enough day to get the frame wire wheeled and painted. And today it's about 50 degrees, which is what the manufacturer recommends, that you shouldn't spray paint in temperatures cooler than that. Mostly because of adhesion, so we're going to make sure that when we get the frame wire wheeled, we get it cleaned up really well. And then we'll be ready to paint. It's also a little bit windy today. Again, not ideal for spray painting, so bear with me if you can pick that up on the audio. I'll do my best to film around big gusts. But anyways, here we go. So what we're doing with the wire wheel is we want to make sure we knock off any rust, loose paint, anything that might make the adhesion of the paint difficult. And we're using just a regular power drill with a wire wheel, and there's really no quick and easy way to do it. You just have to hit every surface that's going to be painted. Now, I also like to use both hands on the drill. I'm holding the camera in one because as the wire wheel catches these edges, it will tend to throw itself one way or another depending on which way it's spinning. So for the best control, use two hands, go nice and slow, make sure you hit every area that's going to be painted, otherwise you're going to have issues with paint flaking off or not adhering in those areas. So we'll let you go. We're going to spend some time and get the whole trailer wire wheeled, and I'll bring you back out when we're ready to paint. Another consideration to make when you're wire wheeling is to wear eye protection, because all of these little wires on the wire wheel, focus, can fly off. You don't want to catch one of those in the eye. So eye protection is always a good idea. If you're in an enclosed space and you can't ventilate it and you're kicking up a lot of rust, dust, you want to wear a mask, some kind of facial covering, a respirator if you have one, because you don't want to be breathing that junk in. I'm outside, like I said, pretty windy today, so I'm not too worried about the rust factor, but it's something to consider if you're inside. Another thing too is the direction that the wheel is spinning. You can control that so that if something does fly off, it'll throw it away from you. You don't want to stand with your face right over the wheel or anything like that, because that's the best way to catch a wire in the face or in the eye. Alright, I'm trying to hide behind the garage here to get rid of as much wind noise as we can, but I've got the whole trailer wire wheeled. Had to use a wire brush by hand to get into some of the corners and scrape. And right now what I'm going to do is get it all cleaned up with some acetone and a rag. Like I said, you want to make sure that the surface is really, really nice and clean if you're painting in cold weather especially. So that's what we're going to do here next. And now that the trailer's been wiped down, we're going to hit it with Rust-Oleum. I used the 2 times. I don't know how much of a difference it actually makes, but I prefer to do that rather than priming it. I've been keeping this paint inside so it's nice and warm, even warmer than it is outside. That'll also help with our adhesion. So I'm going to get to painting. Now, a little something I forgot to mention. This trailer has these grease fittings on the leaf springs. So we're going to make sure that I get those taped off before I paint them off. I've cleaned them up really good, and we don't want to get paint over them because that might block them up. Now this is a fine project, you know, if you've never painted before, it really doesn't matter because it's a frame, it's not a showpiece. So as long as you get everything covered, you're good to go. If you have some runs and bubbles and whatnot, I mean, it's fine. I'm not particularly worried about it. I'm going to be building the trailer on top of this. You're not going to be able to see the frame unless you're underneath the trailer. But anyways, we're about halfway done, so I'll get back to work. Now, I said before that it's not important if you have imperfections in the paint. But what you do want to make sure is that you cover every area, because if you miss spots, those areas are going to rust and get progressively worse and ruin the rest of your paint. So that's what you need to watch out for. Paint is done. Went through 2 cans. There might be a couple spots I missed, but I can always touch them up later in the build process. So stay tuned for the next step, but that completes the painting of the frame. Okay, so it's been a couple hours, and our paint is nice and dry. So that'll about do it for this video. Next step is we're going to get the wheels and tires on, new tires, and then we're going to start building on top of this frame that we've fabbed up. So there it is, all one last time. All painted up and ready to go. Thanks for watching, and keep an eye on the channel for the next update. See you soon.